This is Ron Klopfanstein, and you're on the hot seat on a Media Monday. Hey everyone, I'm Ron Klopfanstein, and you're in the hot seat on a Media Monday. We want to welcome everyone who is streaming this video on Twitch and on Facebook Live, as well as those of you who are audio streaming on 955theheat.com and on our Twitch and on our TuneIn app. And also big welcome to those of you who are listening on our broadcast at 95.5 FM. We have a great show for you tonight. Comedian JWatch, who's also a writer, artist, a poet, and a producer, will be here. Also, public relations and media professional Jack Pflanz will give us some ideas for crafting an effective marketing strategy. Plus, if you're brave enough, I'll take you to the Wood Creek Hollow Farm for a creepy Christmas in July. But first, Trump has ordered the Republicans to stop investigating the Jeffrey Epstein scandal. Following that, Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson sent Congress home a week early for summer recess. Was that the right thing to do? Here's what some local people think. I'm Ron Klopfanstein on an almost 100-degree day in downtown Utica, where the hot topic is the Jeffrey Epstein scandal. I'm with Anthony, and your sign says that you're a vet. So you served in the military?
May 24th, 1969 to May 20th, 1970. How's that be?
So what do you think about this issue of the day? Should we turn up the heat on Trump regarding the Epstein situation, or was it right for Congress to go home without investigating it?
You know, I think they should investigate. That's part of their job, is to make sure that everyone goes correctly. I personally feel that it will be Trump's downfall.
Why?
He's a sexual predator.
Do you think it'll matter, though?
Yeah, I think people, this is the one thing I think his base will not try. When he was convicted before the trial, he's not a trumped up charge. Well, Epstein's already been convicted. His associate's been convicted. And so if Trump is going to be an associate and he is convicted of that, I think they'll be downfall.
I'm with Diane and Ace, and every week you guys gather to have this protest. The different signs that people have speak to different issues and articulate different concerns. And what are some of the things people are talking about today, based on the signs that you see?
Well, I call it the issue du jour because there's something new every single week, something new every single day, and this seems to have come to the top of the heap today for some people. Hands-off media, the way the media is being attacked by this administration, and unfairly and with threats. So this is a sign that one of our participants bought today.
Do you think that ties in at all to the other issue of the Epstein what happened with Epstein? And it seems
it's related, that's for sure. Oh yeah, it's related. I mean, they don't want the media talking about it, and it's definitely related.
What do you think it is that they don't want us to talk about? What do you think it is? What could it be that they don't want us to know that could be the Epstein files?
I mean, for me, it's probably the ones to think about all the people involved. I think it's going to be so many. For them to have hit it this deeply, there's going to be very significant people on there.
I'm with Kathy, and I'm wondering, do you think that Congress went home to avoid turning up the heat on Trump regarding the Epstein files, or this Epstein case?
I do think they did. I don't understand why this hasn't come up years ago. I think the Democrats missed an opportunity to show this guy for who he is. And there's all these documents now that with grand jury testimony that are coming to light with young women talking about the fact that he liked 13-year-old girls. He liked girls that looked like his daughter. Yes, I think...
It seems like some of those things were known to people beforehand. And like the E. Jean Carroll case, I mean, he was found, a jury found him liable for sex abuse, and a judge even reiterated that by common parlance was words that it was rape, but it didn't seem to have been enough. But now it does seem like, is the Republican Party starting to fracture because of the underage aspect?
Well, I'm amazed at what the Republicans have not fractured over. Starving children, taking aid from Ukraine. There have been a myriad, the Signal episode. I'm amazed at what the Republicans have allowed to occur. And I really think maybe this whole pedophile thing, you know, they had this as red meat way back when they were trying to accuse Hillary Clinton.
Right,
and of course, they were pushing the Epstein files initially because they thought they were going to catch Democrats. Well, what happened is they got the boss who's got his foot in the sling right now. Right.
Personally, do I believe he get away with it? No. But I know he'll do everything he can to get away with it. Like I said, I think this is going to be his downfall. He just can't change the subject enough to make his base go, yeah, he's a good guy. No, they don't know the truth outside.
Do people here today agree that the heat should be turned up on Congress and that they should allow the truth to come forward regarding Trump and the Epstein files? In Utica, I'm Ron Klopfanstein for 95.5 FM, The Heat. For information on future protests and rallies, we recommend you check out Indivisible Mohawk Valley or Central New York Citizens in Action. So what does a person who works in public relations and marketing actually do? We have a lot of people come on the show to talk about their art. I feel like marketing and PR is an art that I appreciate, and I think a lot of people appreciate it without seeing it visible or knowing what it is that a person actually does. So, Jack, we've had some people on this show that were on the show because of you. So I have you to thank for getting to meet people from the United Way and Aaron's Angels. So what is your background in marketing? Now, we're going to do this as if it were a job interview. So I do know a bit about you because I read your resume. I happen to know a little bit about you because I've known you for many years, but we're going to pretend that I don't. And I'd like to hear what it is that you actually do.
So we're going to pretend we haven't known each other since Warden's Music
Exactly,
in
all the way
Square Mall
back to 1989 or whatever, yep.
Okay, sure, Mr. Klopfanstein. Well, what I do basically is I raise awareness for a business, an organization, nonprofit, government, whatever it might be, whatever the issues are, whatever the events are, my job is to bring awareness to those aspects of that organization. So you spoke about Aaron's Angels.
Right.
When I first got involved in Aaron's Angels because I was a kid who grew up in poverty. I was a kid who grew up in the projects. I grew up in Cornhill, in the corner of James and Howard. And I went to bed hungry more nights than I care to remember. Yeah. And I grew up in a hostile environment at home. So the mission of Aaron's Angels is to feed kids. No kid hungry. It's that simple. And it's named after a young lady, 11-year-old Erin Maxwell, who was abused, neglected, and murdered by her stepbrother, and she was starved. So our founder, Sheila Dion, was a lunch lady in the school system and realized kids were hoarding food in their pockets. Kids were trying to bring food home from lunch. When I found out about this organization, I said, I can help. I can raise awareness about the mission of feeding these kids and increase the penalties for anybody who commits domestic abuse.
How did you do that? How did you raise awareness?
The way I did it was I took a look at their website, and on their website was a list of events. And I made a calendar of their events, and then I kind of backtracked and I thought about when would be a good time to put out a press release to raise awareness about this event that's going to raise funds to feed these kids and create this law in the Senate. And so I usually, from an event, I'll put a press release out about 2 or 3 weeks ahead of time.
What do you put in the press release?
So the headline, so you have your dateline, which is the city that the press release is coming out of, the date, and then you have your headline. And the headline,
you say like for immediate release. Do you still say that in press releases?
Oh yeah. So you've got for media release. You've got the media contact, which is myself, my name, my title, my email, my phone number. And then I usually have an editorial comment, and I put in a link, a Dropbox link with pictures and video that media can use.
As much as you can give to the media in advance is helpful.
Exactly. The more you can do their job for them, the easier it is for you to get airtime, the easier it is for you to get newspaper space.
Because all of us in media, we're so incredibly overworked. Inundated with also, like, you get inundated with people that want to get out of the air and have events. Plus also budgets are tight, and skeleton crews and stuff. So
and the news cycle is 24/7 now.
Exactly. It's relentless.
And so if you get an item in the news, whether it's on air or in print or online, it's a 24-hour cycle.
So how do you make yourself stick out? How did you make Aaron's Angels stick out?
So what I did was I took a look at their events calendar. I put together a schedule of when I would put out a press release about their events. And then 2 or 3 days before that event, I put out what's called a media advisory.
Yeah.
The media advisory is basically an invitation to the media, very basic, of who, what, where, when, how, why. For them to come and do what you do when you go out in public, for TV cameras to come, for print reporters to come, take their pictures. And we send that out 2 or 3 days ahead of time because most media outlets have production meetings the day of the event.
Right,
at 8 or 8:30 in the morning.
A lot of those decisions are made the day of, you know, to cover stuff. You know, I also think too with the media advisory, one of the things that like I've done as PR person for groups I've been in, especially the Historical Society of Westmoreland. One of the things I would do is in the media advisory, like sort of describe what people would see. So to let the press know, like if they come, like, you know, and this was for Historical Society, I would describe like we're having a Flag Day event, so you come out to get visuals with like red, white, and blue. People drinking lemonade, you know, the band playing. So like you kind of use imagery to paint the picture, right?
And the trick there is you don't want to give too much away because then they don't have to come. If you give them too information, then they've got their story.
So they get your press release, they get media advisory, but then they're like, well, you know, there's so many other fundraisers. There's this other thing that was kind of interesting to say. So maybe not. What do you do to overcome that? Well, how would you get Aaron's Angels? So
So what I've done is I'll send out the media advisory. I'll also have a press release at the event to hand to media, so they can take it back and do their story because they've got their B-roll, they've got their audio.
Sometimes it's nice to have things on paper too. You know,
and so now, right after the event, I send them the press release electronically with photos and video. So now they can cut and paste with their B-roll, right? But the next day or later that day, depending on the situation, I will send the press release out to every other media outlet who couldn't come. With a link to the video, with a link to the photos. And that way they can still do a story. They can still copy and paste. And they can still help us raise the awareness. So the way you get through a media outlet not coming to your event is by giving them all that information after the event is over.
And also, like, maybe you can speak to this too, like, just like the media looks for things, like as a media person, we look for things that will interest our audience. You know, I'm sure that you look for things that will interest me as your audience to make me think, oh, my audience might think that's cool too. So how do you do that?
Well, you take a look at the event and you try to find 3 main messaging points. Okay. So
3 main points.
This kind of goes to prepping someone for an interview. So anytime I take a person out on a media tour, we do 4 or 5 radio interviews in one day. We do TV in one day. But I'll spend about a good 2 hours with the person, and I'll walk them through the do's and don'ts of working with media. But in that concept, we'll work on 3 main messaging points that they want to get across to their audience.
How do you determine those?
You look at the mission. Look at the mission of the organization. So one of the main messaging points for Aaron's Angels is no kid hungry. So what can we do about no kid hungry?
So one point is like what we're all about.
So what we're all about, what we're trying to do, what we're trying to accomplish. And then we narrow that down into action items. What can people do to help us make sure no kid in that school district goes hungry?
So now when you say what can people do, would this be what can the media do to get publicity, or what can the public do?
What can the public do? So what can we, what action item can we relate to the public through the media? And that's the selling point to the media. The selling point to the media is the action item, the value that it has to your audience.
I see, because like as media, like, you know, it can be hard because like we need to find something, like I need to find a way to make my audience interested too. And I try to find things, you know, as someone who produces the show, I'm kind of like the advocate for the audience. So it is helpful if somebody can approach me in such a way to say, hey, you know, we're this organization. We know we've talked to you before, we've come on before, but hey, we have this new thing. We want people to do this thing. So like a new message.
Here's a perfect example. The last time I was on with our founder, Sheila Dion, it was April. April was National Child Abuse Awareness Month. So we leveraged that month to have people take a course of action to sign our change.org petition so we can enact a new law in Albany to increase the penalties for people who violate children in domestic violence.
And that raises a good point too. You know, sometimes people, you know, especially, I think with some media outlets, go for like more of like a sort of like the cheap crowd pleasing post, like about like there's so many holidays and why is this month and that month. But really, like a lot of times, like you have a day, a week, a month for a thing, just because it actually just gives you an opportunity to like make something out of it and like make media things out
Exactly.
of it. You know? So that's important because it's hard to like find something. It's hard to get back into the media after you've already been in there,
right?
Because they want to know like what's new.
Yeah.
So
and so it's important to stay in touch with the media.
Yeah.
So one of the things I've done, and I know you've gotten these emails from me,
you're a relationship builder.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's the key to the whole thing.
Absolutely. Yes.
And one of the things I like to do every so often is I'll reach out to a group of 50 of our local media people, and I'll simply say, what can I do to help you with whatever story you're working on right now?
Oh, wow, I like that.
What can I do? Do you need a photo?
I would love to get an email like that.
You've gotten those emails,
I have gotten those emails.
But, you know,
I was just going along with the thing, but that is a good idea because, you know, it's true. Like, you know, it is very hard and there's always so much stuff. And, like, if someone comes along who can offer us a different insight or angle or nuances. We're going to talk more though in the next segment, Jack. So don't mean to cut you off. We're going to hear more stories. We're also going to talk to JWatch in the next segment too. When we come back, we'll talk more to Jack Pflanz and we'll be joined by a multi-talented super showman, JWatch. Later, we'll go to Wood Creek Hollow Farm for a creepy Christmas in July. I'm Ron Klopfanstein and you're in the hot seat on a Media Monday. We'll have more after the break.
Kids, you can inspire. What's that? Oh, yeah.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the hot seat on this Media Monday. I'm Ron Klopfanstein. I'm here with PR media expert Jack Pflanz. We're joined now by JWatch, who is a comedian, a poet, artist, a writer. Well, I think of you as a producer, most of all, because you produce these fantastic shows. So we have two things that I like here today. We have PR, which I'm fascinated by, and we have producing. And we have all the art that you do, JWatch. So JWatch, what have you been up to? You just did a show this past weekend, right?
Yes, and that was a dream that I didn't really have.
Really? Why is that?
It was like a touch on it.
Yeah?
Like of an idea that was kind of brewing at the time.
Okay.
And silent.
Yeah.
And you know the universe speaks louder sometimes.
Yes.
So when it talks, you gotta listen.
You do.
You know, and so my original idea kind of shifted, but got bigger. Good. And then as we had our meetings, you know, they caught on to it.
What makes a good show?
Personality.
So with personality, does that mean one personality, or are you putting your shows have multiple personalities? Yeah. So how do you blend it?
See, I'm a very good scout.
Yeah, I know.
Like I love hidden talent.
Yep.
The people who are nervous or shy, they're the ones that work so much behind the scenes. Like they'll be actors, right? You know them in every film that they be in.
The character actors, yes.
Yeah, but you don't know what their name is.
Right. Exactly.
They work harder than anybody else.
And they're the ones who make it real.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
And they're hungry. They're still hungry.
Exactly, right.
When you get too big, you lose your hunger.
Right. So you look for comedians and rappers and poets and...
It don't matter. I've had magicians at my events. Like, whoever wants to showcase what they got, they're welcome to come.
So that's a good show. Jack, what do you do with a good show to promote it?
Well, the first thing I would say is, do you have a nonprofit tie-in? If you have a nonprofit tie-in, that'll bring the interest of the media.
Well,
he actually does. I mean, you actually do the you do a food kitchen thing. Yep.
I have a social enterprise that I have sponsors that come in, but mostly it's grassroots.
Yep.
And I believe in the community is stronger as an organic than the media. For me, I do both, but I lean more towards the people itself.
Like social media and stuff. You use a lot of social
power.
Yeah, people power. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So I would use your nonprofit tie-in as a hook to bring media into your show or to get them to talk about your show. So if you have a percentage of proceeds that are going to something, we could, you could get booked on morning TV, or you could get booked on morning radio to talk about how your show is helping to improve quality of life in the community.
Like that.
So Jack, how do you like find a thing to be that you're interested in, other than Aaron's Angels, the personal connection to, but like how do you find something that's marketable, where you think, this is something I can take hold of and do something with?
Well,
same with you, Jay. Like, when you find someone to work with, what do you guys look for where you think this is an idea, a concept, an artist, or a platform that I can work with and do something with?
Well, I look for what can I do to help improve quality of life for people in the community with this particular event or this organization.
Okay.
I look at the way I grew up, and I look at who are the people that helped me get to a point where I survived high school, where I got through college, where I was able to develop a career.
Yeah.
And what would those people do if they were in my situation to help other people?
So to do your work, you kind of put yourself in the shoes and the perspective, in the mindset of someone who's helped by an organization.
Right. Exactly.
So that gives you an interesting insight into being able to market it, I would imagine.
And I met Sheila at Aaron's Angels strictly by accident, by putting out a post saying, who has worked in human resources and could review my resume?
Yeah.
Well, Sheila responded right away and said, I'll do it. And then as she looked at it, she said, let me tell you about what I work on. And that's how I learned about Aaron's Angels.
Huh.
And as soon as I heard about Aaron's Angels and I read their mission, it just clicked.
Yeah.
But I just look for a way, what can we do?
Like that hook.
Yeah, whatever it is, whether it's, I've been in nonprofit, I've been in technology, I've been in government, I've been in politics. Last year, I was trying to help a candidate.
Yeah, I remember that.
You know.
So you've done so many different. How about you, Jay? So like when you're thinking of a show, what do you want your audience to think or to feel like? Do you put yourself in the perspective of your audience and think like, what would someone coming to the show experience?
Well, I have a big background in design and PR and all this. Like, me and him are actually very similar. I've done all those things like in my life.
Yeah.
So, and I've been in the industry since I was 8 years old.
Right, because you're on Broadway.
So like,
you were the Lion King.
I understand. You know,
I remember that. Sorry.
The levels of how entertainment goes.
Yeah.
But I try to get unsung heroes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, and the one, and like, I go to like a lot of mics, a lot of different events. I have to sit there and just listen. And like, if someone gives me gooseberries, I need to talk to them.
So, what makes you decide to go to a show? Because, like, you're probably like, I mean, this the same thing that I see a lot of events. The way that I choose events, like, to go to or to cover or to have people on the show, mostly through Facebook. So, like, when I'm going through Facebook and seeing something to do, like this past weekend, we found the thing of Wood Hollow, the cool Halloween thing. Like, what makes you, Jay, as an audience, potential audience, you, Jack, as someone, not someone as a PR person, but what makes you, Jack, want to go to an event just to support it, or you, Jay, just to go? What makes you want to go to a show to see it? What hooks you guys?
For me, is the way it's advertised, the design. I'm a stickler for correct graphics.
Yep.
And I don't like flyers that have too much information on there. That's a no-no. Right. I don't like too many fonts being used. That's a no-no.
I'm with you on that. Yes. Yeah, you see my face light up here like that.
You get 3, that's it.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Three. That's it. And if you ask me 2, but you know, I'm okay with 3. If I see 3, I'm not going to freak out, but I prefer 2.
and for me, it's more mission oriented. And so I love to go to nonprofit events.
Yeah.
My daughter right now is teaching art classes for Kirkland Art Center.
Okay.
And I'm doing some media work for them on a pro bono basis.
Okay.
And so Kirkland Art Center, they're doing programs right now that bring art into the world of kids who have never walked into an art studio.
Right.
How are they marketing it?
How am I marketing? So I got involved with a conversation with the executive director.
Yeah.
I identified the person in the organization that was comfortable doing interviews.
Yes.
And we took a list of their classes, the 4 or 5 classes they wanted to promote the most for the summer.
Yep.
and the ones that meant most to the kids.
Yeah.
And so then I booked her on all the morning talk shows and
Yep.
the afternoon TV show that we have here locally.
What
and
afternoon TV show? do we
the
have locally?
WKTV
I didn't
has
know about that.
News Talk. You know, News Talk on WKTV.
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. So during the week, they have a 15-minute
I
segment.
actually never watched the news. I know it's
You're
so bad.
killing me, Ron.
You know, the crazy thing is, like,
You're killing me.
I watch it. I got you. Yeah.
the show that I watch the most is this show. Because I'm always editing and making reels and promoting it.
Yeah.
So it's like it's crazy. Like I think I'm my own favorite actor, but you know.
You're a little bit of a media snob is what you're doing. So let me help you out.
Go
Gary
ahead, Jack.
Livertor. Gary Livertor, WKTV.
I like him.
Love
Yes,
him.
yes.
He's a great
He's
guy.
great. Yeah.
He has a 15-minute segment during the week
What?
where he'll bring
I wonder if
in.
you'll have me on this. Well, of course, I'm competition.
Yeah.
Plus, I decided never watched the show.
You're going to be a little tough, but I can manage.
You gotta help me backtrack that, you know?
Well, what he does is he brings in people from the community
Nice,
who talk
yeah.
about events, who talk
Wow.
about causes and their
Yeah.
missions. And so I booked this young lady on 3 of your competitors.
Yeah.
I tried to get her on your show, but you were pretty booked. And
Probably just got the date screwed up too, because I'm always telling people, like, you know what I do is like I put down in my Google Docs, like, you know how like July, like this is July 28th. So like if I write down 7/28 by mistake, because I'm really bad with numbers, that just completely throws me off. So like the guy who was here last week, Lou Altman, like I actually booked him for like the week before, and I booked him for last week, and I booked him for this week. But he figured it out, so it worked out good. So anyways, back to your story
Yeah,
about Gary
that's okay.
Livertor.
So
now what if someone's nervous? So they're like, oh,
So I do a media
think
prep.
I can't go on the show. I'm too
Yeah.
scared, you know.
so I sat down with this young lady for a good hour and a half.
Wow.
A couple of days before the media
Yeah.
tour. And we talked about the fact that working with media is simply a conversation.
Yes.
And the guest kind of has, and I think you'll agree with this, kind of has the power because they're the subject media expert.
yeah,
They
right,
know what
right.
they're talking about.
Exactly,
So I
yeah.
go back to my 3 key messages. We developed
Right.
3 messages that she wanted to get across
Yes.
within 5 to 10 minutes.
Yes.
And then we talked about pivoting.
Yeah,
we talked about
that's
if you
a
get
really
a question
good stuff.
that is controversial,
To change the subject.
not change the subject, address it,
Yeah.
but bring it back to the 3 main messages that
Right,
you're there to
right.
talk about.
Yes, yes.
The 3 things you want to get
Of course,
across.
probably shouldn't give me hard balls about the art center.
Yeah, well,
I would think-
yeah, there's not a lot you can, controversy.
But I've dealt with hard balls in my day.
yeah.
I'm pretty good at it. You know?
But
I can even manage talk of the town. You know,
Yeah.
those 3 guys.
well, there's one gentleman
three
who,
witches of Macbeth. There.
yeah,
It's like-
2 of those guys I love. One,
I love those guys too.
Yeah.
But they can be tough. You know?
yeah,
It's
they
like
can be
3
tough.
against 1. You know?
But that's what preparation is for. That's why you sit down and you talk for an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Right,
And you
exactly.
work out the 3 main messages.
What if
and you
someone's
work
nervous? What if someone's nervous?
Well, it's all about practice.
Yeah.
So if it gets to a point where you're so nervous about doing this, I'm going to pull out my phone and we're going to do a Facebook Live.
Oh my gosh.
Or we're going to record.
Well, that's pretty.
Or we're going to record in
we
front of
just
a mirror.
record. Yeah, yeah. I
You
was
know,
gonna say, yeah.
and we're going to play it back.
Go on Facebook
and we're
Live
going
on
to talk
the first
about
try. Yeah, right,
and we're
it's
going to
really
talk
good.
about what you did right and what you can improve on.
I like that.
never talk about what you did wrong because
Right.
you can't do anything wrong, but you can
Right.
improve on things.
Can also improve. Is that how you do things, Jay? Like with your artist? Do you ever like say, you know, this was good, but maybe a little bit more of that, or is that how it works in your field?
I put people through a little gauntlet.
Yeah.
But I'm also, you know, John Dewey.
I don't.
He's an author writer, but one of his quotes is "Learn by doing,"
Yep.
Yeah. Right.
and that's how I showed up. Was like I create the atmosphere so it's comfortable enough for them to, even if they come to just watch, everyone there will innately inspire someone to feel like, okay, I can do it now.
Yeah.
If they did it, you know, and they look nervous, and I'm a nervous wreck. They got through it, you know, we can do it too. So like the family, the atmosphere is family, and Jay-Z has been, you know, a part of so many of them.
Oh,
You know, he can tell you like, there's been times that literally, like, you know, I don't know if you believe it, but like the spirit has moved. You know, someone had come in there and was depressed, and like they didn't want to even be seen, but you know, somebody did a song and it hit them, you know. Like those things, you can't plan that.
Right.
You know, so you just gotta let it go.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I have a subject, I have a schedule that I stick to, but I leave room for changes. So some people might not go in the right order, and it's okay because I go with the vibe of the room.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what makes it magical. Like, hey, it's time.
So it's true. The vibe is everything with all this stuff, with events, with art. So Jack, we're gonna stay in touch because you're gonna do some PR. You're gonna make me a little bit more famous too, which is something that is
Famous or infamous?
long overdue. So we'll be talking more with you too. But now you're gonna take off in the next segment. So we're hanging out today with comedian JWatch and public relations professional Jack Pflanz. I will have the show online as a video and a podcast on Wednesday at uticaphoenix.net/Media Monday. I'm Ron Klopfanstein. I'll have more at Hot Seat Media Monday after the break. Great. This is Ron Klopfanstein. You're in the Hot Seat on Media Monday. Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. This Friday at noon, I will be at Sylvan Beach Amusement Park. I'll be hanging out with Donna Ray, who was a guest on the show. And I'm not exactly sure what I'll be doing. There's so much fun stuff to do there at Sylvan Beach. So come down and hang out and we'll play some games. I can play games with you. I don't know what we'll do. We'll go on rides, we'll have candy, we'll make a feature segment about it, and so I'll have more about that next Monday on the show. Also, next week on the Hot Seat Media Monday, we'll be hanging out with the organizers of the Sci-Fi and Horror Fest at Vernon Downs. That'll be a cool show. That'll be Monday, August 4th, right here at 95.5 FM broadcast and streaming. For information on those upcoming shows of Hot Seat Media Monday, as well as the show notes, videos, and podcasts of all our past episodes, just go to uticaphoenix.net/Media Monday. Wood Creek Hollow Farm is known for their popular annual Halloween attractions, but this past weekend, guests got a preview of what to look forward to in the fall. Here's my report. I'm Ron Klopfanstein at Wood Creek Hollow Farm, where they're celebrating Creepy Christmas in July.
I like this jacket.
I'm with two of Santa's elves who look kind of scary, a bit scary, Santa's elves, and you're whoever you need to be conjured as. You were kind of like the gatekeeper.
Yes, I'm a host, if you will.
Host.
Yes.
So what do you do on this path? So what happens when people walk on this scary path? Why? Yes.
Absolutely. Creepy Christmas. The scariest part of Christmas is honestly the Christmas shopping. So our goal here is that if we can scare the daylights out of you, then maybe you can forget the pain of shopping and the credit card bill in January.
Oh,
What's the scariest part of this path?
The scariest part?
Yeah.
I won't lie to you, despite the fact that I'm a little bit of a scary woman, I am the crybaby. However, I will not lie to you, that gingerbread man, he just appears out of nowhere. He does.
Really?
He is hungry, yes. He is very hungry. He's hungry and vengeful.
I guess I'll have to be on the lookout for the gingerbread
Yes.
man.
Santa is actually my twin brother.
Oh, he is?
He is. He actually gives good children presents. I eat them.
I was going to say, we generally associate Santa Claus with like kindness and generosity, but you don't look like someone who's kind of generous to me.
Oh, not at all. I actually eat the bad kids.
Should I be nervous on this path?
Well, it depends. Are you good or
I have some bad
naughty?
qualities.
I'm a devil. Are you good or bad?
Well, I guess we're going to find out, right?
That's all that, right?
I got chased by a chainsaw. I'm with Patrick and you own Wood Creek Hollow Farm. What's happening here tonight?
So tonight we have Creepy Christmas in July. It's our Midsummer Scream. It's our second year doing it. The first time we did it was in 2023. We took a year off and then we're back here tonight. We have our Psychopath attraction.
open. We have everything in your nightmares of a winter wonderland to experience.
So this is something that you've done Halloween events for many years, right?
Yes.
So the Christmas thing is like kind of a new addition that you're
Yes.
trying.
I was going to say it's a newer event we are doing for sure, yes.
What do you think is the scariest part?
Definitely the trail this year.
The trail.
Definitely the trail, yes.
Yeah. So what are your tips for to summon your courage before you walk on this trail and deal with these monsters?
Definitely take a breath first. Take a breath before you come in because you're going to be scared.
That's very
I heard a
good
lot of
point.
screams tonight.
So what are you hearing from feedback from the people here? Do people like to celebrate Christmas in July with kind of a creepy
Yes.
twist here?
Well, I think that, you have all year, and especially people who like creepy things, it's good to have your time of year where you can actually, a different time of year where you can come and actually see some creepy. I think
If you're brave enough, you can return here on Friday, September 26th for the opening of Psychopath, the new Halloween attraction at Wood Creek Hollow Farm. I'm Ron Klopfanstein for 95.5 FM, The Heat. What a good time we had at Wood Creek Hollow Farm. Jack Pflanz, if you're listening there, I hope you are, because you should listen to our station. Jack had to leave. I think you should get me booked at Wood Creek Hollow Farm on opening night. What could I could be a celebrity zombie. Would that be cool? Just like how I was a ghost, how I was the voice with Anastasia last year at that play, Jack, you got to get to work on that. So JWatch is here, J-Eazy's here.
Yeah.
So our last segment of the show. So both you guys are always hard at work on shows. In fact, J-Eazy, you'll be at Levitt. This is the last season for Levitt, and the show's coming up soon, right?
Yes, it is. August 15th. That's on a Friday. Everybody.
Not on Monday. It's a Friday. So
right. Everybody that comes to me or that talks to about it is like, wait a minute. I thought they do Mondays. Like,
that's
they
what I
have
thought
two
too.
Fridays this year.
Yeah.
And it's wild that they would pick the last year to put 2 Fridays in there.
Yeah. Maybe like bonus ones.
Yeah, they wanted to go out with an extra bang, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They wanted to make the last year a special one, so they added, a couple extra concerts in there, you know what I mean? So
what will you be doing?
I'm going to be, doing what I do. I'm a local artist, so I got an hour set, from 5:30 to 6:30. I did an hour set when they did the lineup launch recently. And some songs that I did at the lineup launch, I'm not going to be doing at the actual event.
So some new things people will hear. So
yeah, new things and revamping a couple other things. You know what I mean?
So the location is still the same. Like Copernic Park is right over across from the Fountain Islands, Munson Williams.
Yep. As long as the weather holds, then we'll be at Copernic Park. But if it doesn't, then they'll let us know. Where the backup location is going to be, like whether it's at Munson or whether it's at Delta. Like the first Levitt was at Delta because of the weather. So
like either way, you'll be doing a show. Like even if it rains, it's nice to get to be part of like the last year of that.
Yeah, it's an honor. Shout out to Michelle McCarrick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. For doing all these years.
And my guy Malik.
Yeah. It's tough, isn't it, JWatch, putting on a show? I mean, it's incredibly hard work to put one of these things together, to market it, to perform it, to do all this stuff. I mean, I've seen shows that you did. Just you have to bring in the equipment too. I mean, that alone.
Oh, that's the thing. A lot of times I don't even have the equipment.
Yeah. At the hub.
I have equipment.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if I'm not driving, then I'm not carrying it.
Right.
So I'm gonna have somebody who performing
to do all
who has their own equipment, and I'm gonna use theirs.
That's a good idea. That is a good idea.
They have a real way to get it there, and they take it back home with them.
That's a good idea. So you put together a show. So did you put together like a comedian, rapper? Like how?
Well, I just had a event.
You had Brenda. I know who was a comedian.
What was that? Saturday. Things is going.
You forgot you're supposed to be on this show too. And like you got me so nervous last night. You gave me a call and I was like, he said, because I posted on Facebook you're gonna do the show. So then you call me up and you're like, I didn't know anything about that. And I'm like, oh my God, crap. Like, did I imagine the whole conversation? Because sometimes we'll booking and stuff, I do get confused and book people for the wrong days and stuff. But I'm like thinking to myself, did I actually imagine that whole? But then I did find it. So.
Well, see, Ron, the thing
their
is,
birthday come up. Your daughter's birthday.
It's today.
Happy birthday to her.
To Radiance. Lady baby, she's 14, so 15. Oh my gosh.
Happy birthday.
See?
Edit that out. Edit that out.
Don't blame me.
Redacted.
Yeah.
Edit. Listen, I'm gonna tell you how forgetful he is. Like, he and I actually have a podcast together. Look at you. The J&J podcast. And we were supposed to do an episode like a couple weeks ago, but didn't get to it.
He forgot about it.
Ron, am I friends with concerning you, right?
Yeah.
When you said that, when we said that, right?
Yeah.
I know how I talk. So if I say yes sir to you, it is for everybody.
Yeah.
If I say yes sir or
it's
yes ma'am,
without I'm
in the middle of something and I'm just answering you. It is sinking that, and when you wrote me that, I was cooking at the church, so I said, oh yes sir. But then that day, everything happens. Once it's gone, it's gone.
And then all of a sudden, there's these promos about how JWatch is going to tune into Hot. Don't miss the next Hot Seat Medium Monday because JWatch, and you're making your food, and you're like, oh, wait, what?
I just came, I was in the car, just came from DJing.
Surprise!
At Reverend Bowles Church, Hope Chapel. I'm like,
hey, you're going to be on Hot Seat tomorrow.
So we get the default message. Gotcha.
Yes. That's kind of like me with the thumbs up. You know, it's kind of what I do all the time too. It's like,
But also to his defense, he's a man that wears many hats. You know what I'm saying?
You are busy. Yes.
Yeah, he's a comedian.
Yes.
He's a security guard. He's a caterer.
That's true.
Helps out at Cornerstone Community Church.
Right.
You know, with feeding the homeless
feed a
and
lot of
everything
people
like that.
too. Right. I was going to say. I mean,
he does a lot of things, and he's another local artist that I just happened to hear something from him like earlier today.
Really? Where?
he sent me a track that he made.
Oh, nice. Great.
I guess one of 3 tracks that he made.
Well, that's what this station is all about.
So
you know, it's like getting local.
He's doing some of everything.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, he's going to be on like the cover of like Essence magazine or something like that.
There you go.
Times
Okay,
Times.
see, there you go.
There
you go.
I have a preference.
right.
Pretty good though. I mean, any magazine covers a good one.
Yeah. My Essence.
I found one that I want to be on the cover. So it's called. Don't laugh. It's called 55 Plus. But I'm thinking, so I found this magazine nice and easy around here. 55 Plus. It's a real magazine. I'm thinking like, hey, I'm 55 plus, and I'm pretty cool. So I'm thinking they should just start being 55 plus, but still like doing stuff. Like it doesn't mean you're like retiring or just playing golf or spending your life just slowing down. I am never going to retire. So what?
I'm gonna put you on Jet.
You what?
Jet magazine for you.
I'd be great in Jet. Yes. White people could be in Jet.
Even though you know. Right? Him and his husband, right?
What's page 37?
Easy, bro. Take it on right there. Sign them today.
What does that mean, page 37?
Research. Right. Use your Google. Nah, but it's still hard to believe that you're actually 55 plus. Like those that have seen Ron, on social media.
Just barely, but
it's hard to believe that you're 55 plus, man. That's
what
cool.
I thought too. So I thought this magazine, I'd be the perfect one. Because people would see and think, oh my God, he can't be. I gotta buy. Well, it's free, but they think I gotta get one of these. I gotta take me one of these home. Because even free stuff, people don't want to read. People don't want to read stuff. Magazines and stuff. So like this, maybe they read about me. So I'm willing to step up to the plate. I got to get Jack on there too. I got to make a list of things I want Jack to do. Jack has to make me a celebrity ghost at Woodhaven thing. Jack has to get me on The View. Jack has to get me on Jet Magazine. Jack has to get me to People Magazine. Jack has to keep me out of the tabloids. What do publicists do? We'll get him to work on this.
Well, whatever you get Jack to do,
yeah,
just make sure that he's nimble Just make sure that he's quick.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, Jack
Be nimble, Jack be
Yes, oh, I got that. Yes, there you go.
Come on, Ron.
right, yeah. He's got the candlestick ready, so you're all set.
So, Jay Easy, one more time. When is your Love It performance? Friday, August what?
August 15th.
And you will be at the Copernic Park, the usual place there to set up. It's all free and stuff. Yeah.
5:30 to 6:30. I'll be opening up for Koof Kantz, I believe his name is, and Christine. I forget her last name, but they're like a hip hop group.
Yeah.
I mean, so I'll be opening up for them.
That's great. Well, I'll have to try to come to that because usually the Monday things. After I do a show, there's no way I can go to after I do one of these shows. Is that how you feel at JWatch after a show? Like, are you kind of like cannot really? I'm kind of like my mind is like blown. If that makes sense.
Like you said, to the hats.
Yeah.
I will. In one day, will go from DJing to security to catering to performing or hosting something all in one day.
Yeah. I go from teaching to do reporting, but when it comes to like the show, like this show, like actually broadcast like 1,000 people, after this I'm kind of like, oh wow, it's like, what did I do today? Like I have no idea most of the time. It's overwhelming, but it's a good way though. Performing is exciting, huh? Like, I mean, that's really why we do it,
Yeah. It's all about the love, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta love what you do, because if you don't, then you're not going to get any satisfaction from it.
No.
At all.
Because a lot of it is thankless.
Yeah.
Overlooked. Underestimated.
Yes.
So you gotta, if you don't have the joy for it, you're not, if you're trying to expect immediate gratification.
Right.
Just stop.
I think it has to be. I think part of it has to be motivated also too by a love for the audience and like to really think, I have this thing. The show I made, I want to share with the audience, and if you have like approach it with a genuineness, like, hey, I got this cool thing I want to tell you about, like I think that's kind of like the way to do it. So, JWatch, do you have any new shows coming up? Anything coming up planned, or what's next? You're putting something together? You just did one?
I have the State Fair.
Oh right.
I'm filming right now in Palm Springs for my next episode show. I got the book. My book coming out. I got 3 series. I'm turning each chapter into its own story, short film, each chapter, and then each chapter I'm turning into songs.
Wow, you have quite a bit. So let's have you back on and talk more about all this. I didn't know about the Palm Springs thing, so that's interesting.
Yeah,
so,
last year they had the festival for last year. I won 3rd place, which allowed me to get the award for fastest rising comedian, which got me the deal. So with Tubi and Netflix. So I'm working on that right now.
Oh my gosh! Well, you got to come back to talk about that. I didn't even realize that. So
booked and busy.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, so before I close out today's show, though, I want to note the passing of a figure who was significant in media, and she was a favorite of mine. Her name was Eileen Fulton, and for 50 years. She started as Lisa on As the World Turns. A lot's been made in the media about her importance to the genre. She was the original soap opera vixen. That's very true. But her work was foundational to the art form because she really constructed the archetype of the sexy bad girl type, because she brought realism and she brought method acting to the role, which for 1960 was really groundbreaking for the time. So that was one of the many reasons that Eileen Fulton's work was so popular and compelling, and she leaves behind a legacy of 5 decades of performances and millions of fans. So I just want to give a shout out, rest in peace to Eileen Fulton. She was she won a Lifetime Achievement Award, Daytime Emmy for her work for 50 years. She played Lisa on As the World Turns. Our guests today have been comedian, writer, artist, poet, producer JWatch, and PR marketing pro Jack Pflanz. Also, Jay-Z was helping out here, joining the conversation. If you'd like to hear the show again, or if you want to see the YouTube version of the pre-recorded segments and feature stories, we'll have the videos and podcasts of the show online Wednesday at uticaphoenix.net. YouTube.com/Medium Monday. Our sound engineer is Jonathan Brooks. He's DJ J Easy, and he's up next with the Easy Ride Home. Jim Hale records the show for YouTube and podcast. Lily Christopher is our associate producer. Nabil Khan is our entertainment correspondent. I'm Ron Klopfanstein. I'll be back next week with another Hot Seat Media Monday.
Hey, what's up?